What's going on? It is announcement time. I am very, very excited about this one. This one's been a long time in the making, and it's finally coming to fruition. And I'm super pumped to be able to share it today and to be a part of this because, Danny, you're somebody that I think we really connected with video. Like, I think that was where we really started to hit it off. We're in the Tom Ferry world together. Both of us love shooting video. It's kind of like our happy place where those people actually love a camera in our face. I know everybody else hates it, despite the fact we've all been on Zoom for like the last year with a camera in our face every day. But you and I, we've loved video since day one. And dude, I'm so excited to welcome you to the Fast Forward movement at Exp Realty, the Selling Silicon Valley team. Dude, I'm pumped for you guys to be a part of it. And I'm excited to learn a little bit more about the decision because you run a really high producing team. And I think you guys are on track to do 75 million this year. You've got 5 other people to think about. So I'm excited to dive into it, man. Why would somebody as successful as you make a move?
Yeah, great question, Kyle. And definitely it's been a long time in the making. I mean, when I first met you at Tom Ferry, I mean, we were both on the video track, but you were someone that I looked up to because you were doing about 10x the amount of volume that I was at that time. And I was like, wow, so this guy is operating at this level and still sees the value in video. And so that's how our relationship kind of started. Why would I join? Well, I think it all comes down to what the value proposition is at the brokerage, right? At the brokerage level. And not only that, but what the value proposition is in the Fast Forward movement. This year we're on track to do 75 million. Next year the goal is 150, and the goal the year after that it's 300. I want to double every single year. And this year, like, the roadmap was pretty easy. Like I in October of last year had a game plan that I thought was going to make sense for reaching our goal of 75 million. But in about March of this year, I started to doubt whether or not I had the support and the mentorship necessary in order to hit my goal of 150 next year. Because I'm always thinking one step ahead, right? It's like, yeah, I could get to 75 this year, but there's no way that what I've built can sustain the 150. And how do I find the mentorship and how do I find the support to get me to 150 and 300 the year after that? And so that's when I started thinking or exploring my options, right? And I had seen what you were doing with Dan, and I was curious. And so I'd always been kind of like looking on the sidelines and just a curious observer. And eventually I got to the point where I reached out to you, right? And we went down to Cabo, and we went to the Exp Mastermind, and there is really what opened my eyes to what could be, or the possibilities that could be if I aligned with Exp and more importantly, the Fast Forward movement. When I saw the intense level of collaboration that was occurring, it made perfect sense to me that this was the right move. You and Dan have been amazing. The whole Fast Forward movement, Fast Forward movement group that we're a part of is incredible. And I can say that, you know, in just the 3 to 4 weeks, the level of support and like the ideas, I mean, there's so many different things that go into creating a top performing team. But and this kind of speaks to points that I'm sure that we'll make later on down the line, but the cream of the crop is helping one another. And it's like, it's creating exponential growth and creating a huge degree of separation. And when, I'll wrap it up by saying this, Tom Ferry talks a lot about, and you and I are both in Tom still, and I have a lot of respect for him, and he knows where the industry trends are going. He always talks about that flight to quality. right? And I know that you, in particular, right? Because I've observed you for a long time, provide excellent customer service, right? And your the quality that you're able to give to your clients is phenomenal. And why? It's because you built systems and infrastructure, and you have the right people there to make sure that those things happen for the customer. It's not all up to the agent anymore, right? Which is how it used to be. And that flight to quality is being expedited by this hive mind that we've created through Fast Forward Movement, where everyone's sharing and collaborating and giving these and sharing their best ideas, and it's creating a way faster flight to quality than I could have anticipated, and I didn't want to get left behind.
Yeah, dude. We just finished up our mastermind today. You got to be on our generals mastermind. So this is a mastermind we do every 2 weeks where we've got, I think we're up to 75 people in the group now doing 50 million plus in production. And all of these people coming together on a regular basis, just sharing what's working. I mean, half of the call today was talking about the experience for our clients and how do we enhance that experience? How do we make it better? Because there's struggles in this market that didn't exist previously. And how do we deal with those struggles to still keep it a fun experience and not make it so stressful and keep people excited the entire way through? Because we all know, right, part of the reason you're aligning with us is you understand that if we can make our clients happy, that's everything in this business. That's how we grow our business, is making happy clients. It's not closing deals. It's making happy clients. And the more clients that we can make happy, then the other stuff will take care of itself. But we obsess over that experience for the client. And the better job we can do, that's how we separate ourselves from the competition, by providing an amazing experience to where we have raving fans and people are excited to go and write reviews on Zillow and Google and all these places because of the experience that they had working with us. And now the beauty is you now take 75 people from around the country that are selling hundreds of homes a year, and to be able to get all these different perspectives and opinions of how everybody's, enhancing that experience for people. Like, that's where the magic starts to happen. You don't have to go and figure it out on your own. You don't just plug into the group and this mastermind of all these collective geniuses. And instead of having to dig for days and days, you just get to throw a question out and get all these amazing ideas in an hour's time frame, where somebody else would take a lifetime to learn what you could learn in an hour.
Yeah, man. And to piggyback off of that, Dan had asked me to share this win on this week's call, but I forgot. And I don't think you even know this either, but on last week's mastermind, I asked that question about geofarming. I don't know if you remember, but I had gone 6 months without a single inbound call on a 10,000 home farm. So we made the adjustments that were suggested on last week's mastermind. Dan was awesome enough to share a postcard that had a lot of success for him. And within 1 day of sending out that postcard, I want you to guess how many inbound leads I had on that one postcard, bro.
Well, I know you had 0 going into it. So I know the number was higher than 0.
Yeah, dude. It was 20 leads on that one mailing, and now we've gotten even more. So since then, I think we had like 5 or 6 more. So I went from 0 to 25 on just one small tweak, and it could have taken me like $50,000 more of bad mailings to figure out that I needed to fix something, and we made that simple tweak, and then boom, like now we're playing again in that farm, which is super cool.
Yeah, and that was a tough one, dude, because you put it out there. In most circles, in most coaching environments, you're gonna put something out there, and people will be like, "Yeah, that looks great, good job, dude. Just keep mailing, everything's gonna be fine." Where you brought it to the table and you got shredded, like.
I know.
People were tearing your mailer apart. Like, this looks like crap. Get rid of this. Move this. Why do you dress like that? Change this. You're like, whoa. Because in the normal world, in most circles, like, everybody's just like, oh, well, yeah, just keep doing it. You'll be fine, kid. Like, it's going to be great. Like, that's not how this group is. Like, the difference here, the reason that we'll all share and collaborate and mastermind is we have an alignment of interest with each other. Like the better job we can do of helping you succeed, the better job we do of succeeding ourselves. So we don't want to just tell you, great job, just keep mailing, everything's going to be fine. Like we genuinely want you to succeed, because the more you succeed, the more we succeed. We win together in this thing. And that's the beauty of it. That's the part that I think a lot of people don't talk about enough with EXP, is they're constantly like stock, revenue share, stock, revenue share. Like, we're probably not going to talk about that on this, right? Like that's not why you're joining this group. You're joining this group to get into those rooms with all of these top producing agents who actually care about you, who actually care if the advice they give you works. They're not going to just tell you what you want to hear to make you feel good about yourself. Like they're going to tell you what you need to hear.
Right.
And it might not be easy, right? Like you might have cried a little bit after that last one, after they shredded it. But everybody told you what you needed to hear. And then the best part, and this is why I'm super stoked to be partnered with you, is you took action immediately and you implemented all of the ideas that were given to you, and now you're having that success. And that's why, dude, when you're sitting here saying you're going to go 75 to 150, like screw that 150, or let's go 75 to 300. Like let's skip the year of going to 75. Like if you keep implementing like that and you keep plugging into the group, like there's no reason you can't. Because now when you get in a room where you got Kenny Fast, who I think is already at like $500 million this year, right? You got Dan, who's already at like 200 million. We're at like 180 million. Like you got Mark Patterson, who's already sold like 400 homes. It's like, when you're in that room, it's contagious. Like you can't be okay with 75 million. Like you're going to be like 75, everybody else is doing 300, 400, 500, like 75. I gotta do more. It's contagious. Like you can't help it. It's not an option. Like you don't want to be the small, like you want to push. It's so powerful when you get yourself into those rooms.
Yeah, man, I couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, truthfully, that's one of the biggest reasons that I joined up, is because where I was, I just knew that like my growth was stagnated, and in order to grow, I had to put myself in an environment where I was surrounding myself with people who all had the same objective, which was to build massive teams and lead the organization, not as God and minions, but truly as like a leader that creates an infrastructure that supports the goals and dreams of every single person in that organization.
I love it, man. Well, I know there's 3 secrets that you wanted to share today, so let's dive into those.
Yeah, man, definitely. So, well, you know, and it's so funny because I say secrets, but they're more or less like learnings up until this point. And the first takeaway that I've really gotten from hearing some of these top team leaders speak at our masterminds is that the role of the real estate agent is changing dramatically. And I think anyone that's watching this who's a solo agent should really like pay close attention, because the market is squeezing a lot of the roles that you're accustomed to performing, and they're doing it better than you and for less money. And so where does that put the agent? It puts them on a path, the solo agent. I honestly believe that like in 5 years, solo agents will be nearly extinct, like dinosaurs, because that's what they are. And you know me, man, like I don't sugarcoat it. Right. So that's how I feel about the agent. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think the cool thing about what I'm seeing with a lot of the teams, including my own, right, is that they're building an infrastructure to support the agent in doing what they do best, which is talking to and helping and servicing buyers and sellers. No more cold calling. Like what? No, right? Like no more like lead follow-up. No more, marketing, right? Yeah. Like no more door knocking, like all of these things that like agents were used to doing. They don't have to do any of that anymore, and they can sell twice as many homes as they used to, or even more. It was crazy. Like Dan was saying that his top agent sold $80 million last year. Yeah. And I was like, what? And I was like, that's more than my whole team's going to sell this year. That's insane, you know? And what that speaks to, though, is two things. Number one, an $80 million producer saw enough value on his team to stay there, even with the low splits, right? Or lower splits than you would get at a brokerage, right? That should say something to a lot of solo agents, right? They're right there should say a lot. So as time goes on, we're going to start to see the role of the agent continue to change, and adaptability is going to be huge. Second secret is the EXP model. I honestly believe that this model will win out because it inspires collaboration, and we've already kind of gone over that. But just as an aside, you know, when I went to Cabo and I was there amongst everyone, it made perfect sense to me. I was like, these individuals are incentivized to see my business grow, and they have the 2021 playbook. You know, I challenge anyone that's watching the stream right now that's not currently with EXP to tell me how many homes their managers sold this year, right? And I guarantee you it's way less than you or Dan. And you guys have the playbook on how to win and excel right now. And they might have done it 20 years ago, and that's awesome. They did it 20 years ago, but you guys are doing it today, right? And I'm like, dude, I want to team up with the guys that are crushing it right now because they know what's up. So that's number two. Number three, client experience is the singular most important thing to focus on improving, and that's kind of, we'd already talked about that, right? Any agent, whether you're a solo agent, a team leader, whatever it is, the number one thing that you should be focused on right now is how do I improve the customer journey? And after being on a couple weeks calls, like, you know, today you brought up your Monday, and then like all of these different things that you're doing for your clients, and then you ended it with, guys, how do we improve the customer experience for anyone that's had a rent back, right? Because you were in that position. And I thought I really liked the way that you led that, by the way, because you already had a couple of solutions, but you wanted everyone to get there themselves, which was super cool. But the client experience is critical. And that's, you know, that's what the EXP, model is really, I think, going to help expedite more than anything else is actually the quality of service that they get from teams, because we're sharing information at lightning speed. So those are my three secrets.
I love it, man. Well, if you're watching this video, you've heard us mention Mastermind probably a dozen times on here, and you're probably wondering, like, what is this like mastermind thing these guys are talking about? We do a mastermind every single Monday. It's at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Danny can get you a password if you guys want to get a little sneak peek behind the scenes and see what this mastermind is all about, right? Because we could be on here and we could tell you how great it is and it's so awesome and there's all this sharing and collaboration, and you're probably sitting there like, yeah, whatever. What are they even talking about? If you want a sneak peek, you want to see behind the curtains for a week, shoot Danny a DM. He will get you the password. He'll get you the login info so you guys can join us and just be a fly on the wall. You can just jump in there for a week and just see what we do on a weekly basis. And that would challenge you to take that experience and then reflect on that experience to what you're getting from your current team or your current brokerage now. And then think to yourself, what's going to get me to my goal? And more importantly, what's going to get me to my goal faster? Because the thing about Danny is, I know Danny's going to hit his goal, right? I know he's going to hit his $75 million goal this year. I know he's going to hit his 150 million. I know he's going to hit his 300. But by plugging into this mastermind group, by plugging into the collaboration that happens within our group at EXP, it's going to fast forward it to where what is his current 2-year goal is going to be his 1-year goal. Like, I'm confident that with his skills, his ability, his obsession with the client experience, there's no reason why plugging into this group, he's not going to go from 75 to 300 in a year from now. And so if you're watching this, you want to learn more about why he made this move, or if you want to get a sneak peek of that mastermind Monday, 10 a.m., shoot Danny a DM. He'll get you the access info. Love for you to join us for a week on it. Any parting words before we wrap up, dude?
this group is exactly what it says it is. It's a fast forward.
Perfect. Well, let's wrap it, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in today. This was fun. This was a fun interview, a unique take on it. Couldn't be more excited to be partnered with you, bro.
Same, man. All right, brother. Later.